Welcome to Metaphysical Meanderings with Master Psychic Lana Duncan Hart-Graves. Lana has been a practicing psychic for 25 years and has gifts of clairaudience, clairvoyance, and clairsentience. She's an empath, a medium, as well as a pet communicator and health advisor. Today, we discuss living in or not denying the gifts that you're given, right? So leaning into that, which is fantastic. And we've got special guest today, Iris May. Lana, take it away.
Hey guys, so I've been thinking about what things I can do to help everybody out, okay? Because I figure that the reason that you're watching my podcast is how to become a better person. That's kind of what I think you're probably doing. So I thought about it, and I'm starting to really concentrate on skills in the next few weeks to months. And so what I've been talking about is I've got several people that I am been talking to, okay? And we're all talking together because right now, because of the age of Aquarius, we're in the process of really, really growing. And we have all these spiritual gifts coming. And I am seeing so many people call me because I get lots of calls.
There's one.
Tell me about it. Anyway, they are it's scared to death of their gifts. They're scared. They're denying them. And so it's causing all kinds of problems. And I think that people need to back up and take a good look at that. And before I start, I want to invite you guys to please look again on my YouTube, Lana's Enchanted Sky, and on my Facebook, at my predictions, because we've been talking about predictions, and this week alone, I had 2 that came true. And so I just wanted to let you guys know, because remember, it's not me saying them. I'm just repeating what they say. But this week, Interpol in Europe just had a huge sex trafficking bust of over 100 high officials on Interpol. And I have to thank my followers, because my followers are circling them literally and finding them for me and said, hey, you're right there. Well, the other one's the food shortage. I don't know about you, but if you've gone out to just go out to eat and there's no food, and you have to order all these different things because you can't find there's no food.
Yeah.
And I have a whole.
We're out of this.
Yes.
We don't have that.
Yep. Okay. I'm really convinced that we are doing a coup here, a financial coup in the United States. There's a video on my YouTube channel, and if we can, we'll post it to 216thenet.com. And it has to do with some of the predictions that I'm making, but we're just not putting up with crap anymore. That's what it is. We're not putting up with it. So it's creating a financial coup where things are gonna because until you pay me and treat me what I'm worth, I'm not doing anything for you. And all of us collectively here in the United States, as well as the world, because I thought this was just a American phenomena, but I've talked to people all over the world, and this is a worldwide phenomena. We're going to take control as a community, as a society, as a global society, and we're not going to put up with people working us into the ground. Okay.
Now your seed and food shortages, that was. You had predicted that on our first show of the year, in 2021. And again, when we did predictions about 4 weeks ago, you brought it up again.
Yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah. Because I don't know. Yeah, I channel, so I don't know, but I do. I didn't understand the food shortage. It's not that there's not enough food. There's not enough workers to process it. That's what's going on. So I have a video on my YouTube. Please visit it. It's real short. It's only 4 or 5 minutes. And it talks about all this. So because I'm convinced that we are collectively, because we're in the age of Aquarius, we're growing. We're not putting up with people's garbage anymore. And it also has to do with the pandemic, because the pandemic, even in the Spanish flu pandemic, there's a lot less workers. People are like, well, no, there's not that many people. There's been over 1 million deaths, more than that, 10 million globally. I mean, that's a lot of people. And not to mention, people aren't putting up with it and they just retired. You want to know how many people I know who have retired? It has been crazy. People aren't in the workforce anymore. So it's a combination of all of it. So check out my video. So back to the spiritual gifts. I've talked to a lot of people, and they are a lot of times all of a sudden, like just in the last couple days, I read at a store yesterday, and I do about 14 readings a day when I'm there. And I would say over half of them were scared to death. I can see things all of a sudden. Shadow people. I'm seeing like an angel, and they're freaking out. Okay. They are absolutely freaking out. And it's because we are spiritually now in the age of Aquarius. We're growing and we're developing. And I'm trying to give you some tools so you can focus and stay calm, because things happen to you negatively when you deny who you are. And I want to say, I call this a psychic coming out of the closet. Kind of like if you were gay or something like that, you came out of the closet. It's the same thing as a psychic. I was in the closet for a long time. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Even though I've done this for 25 years, I've taught school for 30 years. I would say over half of that, I had people that said I was a devil worshiper. So I hid what I was. It's only been within the last 4 or 5, like maybe more like 6 or 7 years where people know what I do. And I make it, I'm like, yeah, I am. Where, because I've come into my own.
Yeah, you're a psychic, not a devil worshiper.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, because it's ridiculous. Because I mean, it's the absolute opposite, So, but I have a person with me. She is a good friend, Iris. Okay. And I know that she's told me a story about her accepting who she is and her gifts. So, hi, Iris.
Hi.
Hi. Now you're a psychic, and how long have you been practicing?
Well, I've only been practicing professionally for about the past 7 years. Just working online, and that's pretty much it. Like, I was still kind of not really out there about what I did. So it was something that I did professionally. I started professionally, but still secretly.
Yes. So what made you accept your gifts?
One of the things that made me accept my gifts is just always, no matter what, I always had this intuition that you don't listen to, because people around you always make you second guess yourself by calling you a devil worshiper, or making it seem as though
evil.
You only know these, or whatever you're thinking is not logical. So they can't accept it. So you have to be crazy. So, but at the end of the day, that would happen, or what I would say or what I was feeling would come true. And it got to the point where it was like, if I'd rather listen to myself,
Exactly.
And it was like the one time that I did listen to myself, things worked out. And so I just kept accepting myself.
Well, so did you start developing confidence? I mean, I think that a lot of people, they just self-doubt themselves. So it's a confidence issue, right?
Yes.
Okay. So did you fake it till you make it, or what? How is, not like literally fake it, but do you know how you act as if? Is that what you did? Do you know what I mean by that? I'm going to act.
No, what do you mean
I am
by
right. Okay. So explain it to me.
So pretty much, I just went with it. I did. It was just something that I still did secretly, though. So I think that's why I didn't have too much confidence, because I was still secret with my gift.
Okay.
But so what I did, I guess, instead of starting to just use my psychic abilities on other people, or telling other people what I was feeling, I started reading for myself. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's about the time I started to know you, I think, because you were reading cards for a mutual friend, remember?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay. So what made you basically come out of the psychic closet? I mean, you are doing this professionally, correct? Yeah. So what made you do that?
It's actually helping other people. Like, I know there was people in my past where they thought I was crazy and didn't want to listen to the things that I was channeling or feeling, but there were people who did. And it helped them so much. Like, when you read for somebody, and after the reading, not only are they putting together what happened in their childhood, what's expecting their future, or, they get that validation. And then not only that, because I feel like a lot of people who call me for psychic readings have a gift themselves. And
exactly.
yeah, and so I think that is what helped me come out like pretty much and not be afraid of it because of the other people that I was helping, like helping them change their lives for the better. Like that
So,
really feels good,
yeah.
to be able to read for someone and give them that information for them to live a better life.
Awesome. So do you believe, like I believe, that everybody's got some type of psychic gift of some sort?
I do. And but here's the thing. But I also feel like even the bad people have the psychic gift too. So yeah.
So you have to so gift of discernment. We've talked about that before. We're kind of seeing through and feeling out somebody, kind of, because you're right. And I'm going to tell everybody out there that there are people that will manipulate you, and they're like narcissists, but they have psychic ability. And you use your gut, right? Use your gut. If you doesn't feel something feels weird, there it is probably. So I don't, and you kind of watch, because I'm a watcher. If I feel like somebody isn't doing, I don't know, not all people are good. We'll put it that way, right? Right. So with that said, so how did you develop yours more? So now you're doing it professionally. So how did you just start practicing and kind of put a sign on your door? What did you do? Did you how'd you do this?
So again, when I started professionally, I still was, I wanted to be discreet. So I actually just looked it up online as different like lines. Like you could just start off on
a psychic line.
Yeah, a psychic line. Yeah, you don't have to put up a sign or anything.
Okay, all right. And that is really common. That the bad thing about psychic lines, though, and we know this, and I know you're real because you read for me. Anyway, because we're friends. But that you have to be careful, because I would say 75% of those people on psychic lines don't have there's something up there. Something's wrong. Yeah. And I can feel it. And if you do find somebody on these psychic lines that knows that's good, you stick with them.
They're sitting there reading the horoscopes from the New York Times.
Thank you. They know, they really do that. I have seen people where they've read out of books. And there are people who can read books that don't have psychic ability. I'm not saying they don't have gifts, because there's other gifts. Sure. I mean, dreaming, stuff like that. And so you have to kind of be careful and piece it through, right? So and here's my other one. If anybody ever tells you you've got a spell on you, and for $1,000 I'll get rid of it, you better run, because I've had somebody tell me that a couple of times. Right? Yeah.
Iris, you look to be about 17 years old. You absolutely look fantastic.
You look
but
young.
My question for you is, how were you raised? Were you raised in a church? What is your background, and how much did that kind of fight your coming out or really accepting your gifts?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you so much, because I'm turning 40 next year.
Oh,
I
my
know
goodness.
I know she's older. I know. That's why I'm laughing. You look really young.
Yes.
You do. So you look different last time I saw you. So yeah.
Yeah, but my background, the family that I was raised in, they weren't church goers really much. Like my mother, she did raise me as a Jehovah's Witness until I was like 6 or 7. And then we kind of got away from that. But my background was pretty much everything had to have a reason, logic. There was no such thing as there was no such thing as like spirit world or Reiki or any of that stuff. Actually, you were crazy if you ever brought that up in my house. So no, but yeah, I would say that what helped me kind of develop my gift, I guess, would be they were very strict. Everything had to be like military. I would say I was raised in a very militant household. And there's not logic in there is logic in things, but there's another part of it too. That's your spirituality.
Yeah.
And that was always held down when I was a child.
Okay. Now, I know that you've been through some trauma and stuff. Is that what's really started your ability? Because I know for me, that was the sudden death of my mother. I mean, sudden death of my mother really opened me up. So do you find that the same for you too?
I did. And But most of all, I think my spirituality is what helped me get through that trauma. I really do feel like if I had to, heal through that trauma by just going to church or saying, yeah, I don't think I would have survived it. I think this trauma that I went through, if I didn't have my spiritual self and dove into, shadow working and Reiki, I don't think I would have
Cool.
bounced back from those
Yeah.
traumas, to be honest.
Good. So so all of the stuff that the spiritual gifts, all of that stuff coming into that is very healing also, huh? Right?
Very,
Okay.
very.
Okay. Awesome. So how can we, if we wanted to reach you, because I know you're incognito right now, you're kind of like you have a little downtime right now because, by the way,
And it's Mercury retrograde.
yes, well, her
Amen.
daughter, by the way, I'm going to brag about her daughter. Her daughter is a professional model, and she's been all over the world, and she's gorgeous. And so she's helping her. So she's a little downtime right now, right? So if we wanted to reach you, how could we? Do you have a website yet, or how do we?
I don't. Because I'm just right now. I was just on a psychic line under Iris May, so I am on a psychic line under Iris May.
Okay.
But I'm not going to go back on there till after Mercury retrograde.
Okay. So, all right. So what I'll do is, if anybody's interested in having a read, because you have to remember, I'm never jealous, because you would find something completely, because of personality, something completely different than I would do.
Yeah.
And so you'll get sometimes told different stuff by different psychics. Yeah. Sometimes the way you can know if they're all really good is if they say some of the stuff the same, but have their own personality mark met. Because I'm a pet psychic. I might find your cat, and people are like, oh yeah, it's all different. So I always like, but what I'll do is when you get online, give me a link or something, and I will post it on my stuff. How's that?
Yes.
Okay. Blessings to you. Thank you so much. And I'll be talking to you again. Okay.
We're here every Saturday.
Thank you so much. You have a good day.
Yep. Thanks.
Yep.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. So, yeah, she looks so young. That's why I kept saying I knew she was right. She was like, I knew, because I know her. I've known her for a long time. So you're developing your spiritual gifts. And so how to do it, why to do it. I'm kind of explaining all that. Okay. Because I am getting so many people right now, because the age Aquarius, I see shadows. I see something. This is the newest one that every time somebody calls me, like I did 14 readings yesterday, and I would say over half of them are like, why can I see like something around somebody? It's like a vibration. I said, you're seeing their aura. And so, well, and it's colored. And I'm like, yes, you're seeing, we are growing as humanity. Humanity is developing spiritually. And we're supposed to be doing this, and it's normal. So, but people are scared to death. They are absolutely, I'm seeing shadows, and I'm like, well, do they look kind of tall? Yeah, they're kind of black and tall. So did it look like there's any wing? Yeah. I said, it was an angel. Like sometimes they look black. Because I've seen them. They just do, because they're because they're very quick, and they go, and if they're really tall, they're probably an angel. Oh, no, I think it's a devil. And I'm like, no, I bet it's not. Okay. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through developing your spiritual gifts, and maybe you don't even know what you've got. Do you know what I'm saying? I wrote a novel right now that I have coming out, and it's about a psychic who doesn't know she's psychic. And she's Native American, and she thinks everybody can see auras. She doesn't understand that she's doing stuff that other people aren't. And so she's going through life thinking that it's no big deal. And she ends up being like the prediction of the tribe. She's like the savior of the tribe because she was predicted. But anyway, so in her point of view, she's seeing all this stuff and no one else can, but she doesn't know she can. So I bet there's people out there that are doing and seeing things that they have a talent. They don't even realize they have it. Because I didn't know that I had synesthesia. I have synesthesia. I can tell, I can feel your aura. I can feel and it's usually your favorite color. So as a joke, for years in my classroom, the kids would line up, get ready to leave for the day. And I'd be like, okay, you're pink, you're purple, you're blue. And then, how'd you get my favorite color? Because I have synesthesia. It's like a extra sense, and I could feel it. I had no idea that's what I did. So I didn't realize that until I taught a lesson on Kandinsky, and Kandinsky had synesthesia. Kandinsky is a famous artist that would paint music, and so, yes, and he had it. So, and I'm like, realized that that's actually a very common one. You feel colors. And I'm like, I thought everybody could do it. So you see what I'm saying? So I bet out there, some of you guys have some ability. Hi guys, I've got a lot of people on my TikTok. I've got this feeling though, there's a lot of you guys out there, you don't even realize you've got your spiritual talents. So I'm trying to make you aware of them. Okay. And don't be afraid of them. Also, I'm getting a lot of people who are going through awakenings and the back of my head is buzzing or my ear buzzes or rings. I'm like, that's like you're growing spiritually. That's what's going on. So they're like an awakening. Okay. So, all right. So here's some of the things that I want to cover because I've only already got 20 minutes. So, develop, what talents do you have? Pay attention. There's signs. And if you notice 1-1-1-1 constantly, or even a 3-3-3, that's creativity is 3. 5-5-5, change. Okay. 1-1-1 is spiritual. That's your spiritual, like it's either your twin flame or you are going up literally a level when you're starting to notice ones all over the place. Okay. This is for the people that are, people that know I'm a psychic and a medium. I also have my own podcast. It's on 216thenet.com. I've got people asking me across my TikTok, I'm also on 216thenet, so it's .com, and on my Facebook, Lana's and Janet's Guy. I am right now live about like 5 different platforms. So, okay. So anyway, so here we go. So pay attention to your signs. Now, some of you guys might be dreamers. Now, my oldest daughter is a dreamer. She'll have dreams, prophetic dreams. And I told her, I said, you're a dream psychic. Edgar Cayce, if you don't know, I had a lot of people who don't know who Edgar Cayce is. And I'm like, you don't know who Edgar Cayce is? Like, okay. Edgar Cayce was they called him the dreaming prophet. And people would go to him and he would tell them their health issues and what to do about them in his sleep. And so dreaming is a big one because remember what you do when you dream. Why do we sleep? 1 is to recharge our batteries, but 2, it's because we miss home and we're able to astral travel. Ever notice that you feel like you went somewhere or you visited something and it seems so real and you left your body, or you're asleep and you feel a slam? Have you ever felt that where you felt you're falling? Mm-hmm. You know what that is, right? You've left your body. And you slammed in too fast. And by the way, so you don't do that again, you tell yourself and tell tell God, tell yourself to please let me enter and leave my body better, slower, and easier, and you will. Because I used to do it all the time. And now I know that when I'm gone, that I think I'm doing it where I'm slipping out of I'm going this way out. Because I used to do it all the time. And that is what that feeling is. Okay. So that you know. All right. Yeah. So what about what talents you don't even know you might have them. So pay attention to your signs. You might be a dreamer. You're getting signs, symptoms, things going, odd synchronicities going on, like serendipitous stuff. Yeah, pay attention because it's telling you what you are and who you are and what your gifts are. Because every time people come to see me. So what are my psychic abilities? What are my gifts? And I'm like, I can tell them to a certain point, but you need to also be looking and watching. Okay. So, now here's some things that you have to remember to make this. Okay. You can ask other people, well, what do you think? Because see, people are perceptive. If they know you well, you might have the gift of discernment. Like I said, I've always had that. I can see right through somebody. I can see, I don't know if, what their motive is, but I think that they're after money or, I'm very good at seeing through that, except when it comes to myself, because, we're always blind about ourselves. So, also, you got to be in service to others. If you're in it for yourself, it's not going to work. You have to be selfless. Now, I'm not saying not making an income. Now, everybody understands that. I try to tell people, don't be giving everything out for free. You need some type of compensation because it's an energy exchange. I don't mean charging $1 million. I don't mean even giving money. What can you do? Do you know how many readings I do where they do greetings back for me because I have so many friends that do this? And that's equal. That's an equal, exchange. But it has to be an exchange of energy, because if you keep giving out, it becomes karmic, because now they've got karmic debt because you're constantly helping them and they're giving nothing back. It has to be an even keel. Okay.
And you probably never talked to an individual who went on a mission trip or went and just gave their time at a soup kitchen or something that gave away their energy with nothing in return, and go, man, that changed my life. That was the best thing that I ever did.
Yeah. And you know what? The thing is, though, is they still got something out of it. There's no altruism. Right. You guys realize there's no altruism. Yeah. That even though you give freely, and I just gave a reading yesterday, and I'm like, that's fine. I didn't need the money. She needed my help, but it made me feel good. So I got something out of it. Don't think that I don't believe in altruism. Because there's a purpose why we're doing it. So I'm not always saying money. What will you, make sure there's some type of even exchange in some way. Like I've done stuff where I'm like, okay, so this is what you do. Tell me a good joke. Make me laugh. I'm good. I'm good with that. You see what I'm saying? So just make sure that you're thinking about that in terms of exchange and making it fair and equitable. Okay. So, and everybody's unique. So you go to one reader, like I said, they'll say one thing. You go to another reader, they say something else. And it's okay, because it goes by your personality. My specialty is finance and career. I don't concentrate in love, because my belief system is love will find you.
Sure.
And a lot of people out there don't need to be in relationships. They aren't supposed to be.
But for the doubters too.
Yes.
And I'll just say, you can go to one church and they'll give a sermon on one a verse. You can go to the other church and is a sermon on the same verse, and they're two totally different sermons.
Yes. And so,
but there's some truth,
exactly.
some in there.
Well, it's know thy own truth. There we go again.
That's
Jesus said, know thy own truth. This is my truth.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when people get kind of, I can't help but laugh when they kind of like, do you believe in God? I live with God every single day,
every minute. Yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna drop that.
That's right.
So it's just that people don't get it. It's like, this is my spirituality. Mm-hmm. So, and I want everybody to discover theirs. So that's kind of, good. Thank you. You have to remember, I'm on Facebook. I'm on 216 the net. I'm on my YouTube, and I'm on TikTok. So all at the same time. So if I'm responding to some of you guys, it's like, we're going to put some on the screen, but I'm also thank you on TikTok. They're thanking me for their advice. So my advice. So, okay. So acceptance, you have to live without fear. The fear is what gets it. The fear, you're afraid because you're like, oh my God, this is so new. And people left and right are coming into this. Now, this is my experience. You really don't know much till you're 30. It's like you hit around 30. Now I had somebody that was 34 that she said, all of a sudden I'm seeing things. I'm seeing black shadows. I'm seeing stuff around people. I said, they're auras. And she's like, oh, is that what it is? And I said, yeah. I said, usually around 30, you give or take a couple of years, but you're in where you're growing. Okay. And I told her, what I've been doing for people is I've been giving them permission to have their gifts. Sometimes some people need to be told that it's okay. Okay. And that's kind of what I'm doing. Because I would say 75 to 80% of my followers are between the ages of 24 and 45. And the rest of them are more my age. So, and a lot of them already know about psychic gifts. They understand a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, but they're all young. And so I'm acting kind of as the guide to that generation. So, all right. So your spiritual talents are very, very scary. And I get that. And they're extremely powerful. And that's the thing. You don't realize how much power you really have. And they're like, wow. Like I had somebody come in yesterday. There are certain things that he had some type of attachment and he didn't realize how that he could get rid of it himself. Now, an attachment could be like somebody following you around. It can be, yes, they're real. It can be a confused soul that refuses to cross over, something like that. And it was following him, and I knew it was. I could feel it, and so could everybody. I was reading in a store, and he walked in. You could feel it, and you're like, "Whoa!" I helped him clear it, and he looked at me. He goes, "I had the ability to clear it the whole time." I'm like, "You better believe you do. They're dead. You're alive. You have more energy. You can control it." You know, when some people say, "Well, they got in the middle of the night and scratched me or choked me," that's mostly movies. And you know what? You're allowing them. You can allow them to not touch you. You're not going to touch me. That's it. You have to remember, I clear houses. So I go all the time into places where there's negative energies, entities, stuff like that. And I clear them and make them leave. So just remember, and I don't think I'm that wonderful. I just understand how to do it. So you have a lot of power. You have a lot of power. Okay. So acceptance and living without fear. So, you know, don't deny them. Go with it. When you start denying them, it's kind of negative energy, and you can't do your manifestation. Okay. Remember, I've talked to you guys about the I am principle, like the I am, like intent. Yeah. Intent is everything. What's your intention? Well, I want to accept my spiritual gifts. So when you accept them, now you're in alignment with them. So when you alignment, now you manifest. So maybe it's manifesting as in a new career, or manifesting in some way where you're helping others. It's all in the intentions that you set. I saw a thing on YouTube recently that said something about, and it was, I believe it was, I got to think of who it was. The guy that was the comedian, tip of my tongue. The one with, he did the pet, he was the pet, he's a comedian. Anyway, it's on my tongue. Anyway, he said intention.
Mercury.
Yeah, Mercury's in retrograde until Monday. And then a couple days after you feel it. Anyway, he said intention's everything. And he goes, you can't do anything. Not all, only great things have come from intention. So just remember that. Okay. So
Hi, Mel.
We're taught in normal Judeo-Christian society to fear this. Okay. That's part of the problem. I'm not bashing any religion, and you know that, because we've got a deacon over here from a church, and he's a deacon in a church. But he also understands that there might be more to a lot of stuff that, you live your life, you walk your walk and talk your talk. So, and you accept everybody else. And that's exactly what I do. I don't pass judgment on anybody, but I am going to say that the traditional Judaic Christian belief system is either, oh, you're full of garbage. That's not true. That doesn't happen. Or it's devil. It has something to do. It's evil. It's evil. And it's all a method of control, because I'm a Gnostic Christian. Gnostics, Gnosis, the early Christians believed in everything I'm doing. And they were all put to death by the Catholic Church. But anyway, anywho.
But again, if you want to be biblical about it, you could go to 1 Corinthians 12, which talks about all the gifts that the Spirit gives.
Yes. And, and people, and as many people, as places it says, you shouldn't do this. But I want to tell you something. I want you to look closely, because those are in the part of the Old Testament, and the New Testament's completely different. And we all know that is. And it does say in 2 Corinthians that I am here to bring comfort. So, so I'm walking I'm doing what I believe. And I want you guys to realize that it's okay. I'm giving you guys permission to do what you need to do spiritually. Like so Mel, hi Mel, I have clairvoyance, but lately I've had trouble with seeing people accurately. I think it's because I'm not around as much people as I used to be. That could be, Mel. Remember, Mercury's in retrograde. We're also in transits. Now, everybody know, I found yesterday I was on Facebook with somebody, and she told me I had 3 car accidents in the last 2 weeks and blah, blah, blah. And I go, well, Mercury's in retrograde. And Jim Carrey, Michelle, thank you. I couldn't think of Jim Carrey's name. I don't know. And I'm seeing him in my head. And I'm like, oh, thank you.
Just said, alrighty then.
Yes, because Jim Carrey does motivational speeches. Yep. Anyway, and he wrote himself $1 million check. Well, I've done that same, not $1 million, but yeah. So I get this. Anyway, so back to this. Yesterday on Facebook, or was it I had somebody talking to me, and I don't believe in astrology, or I don't worship, and I don't follow astrology. And you know what I said to him? I said, you need to, because you know what? This is absolutely true. I was the biggest skeptic in the world. Just take a look and watch if you think it's not accurate, because we are in Mercury in retrograde, and there's weird stuff that just happens. So I had about 8 different things. And by the way, my cat is much better. I had a lot of people that were sending me messages. My cat got attacked by a coyote, and I nearly found him dead. And I had him up at the emergency room, and $1,000 later.
How do you know he didn't attack the coyote?
Yeah, well, you could see where he was running, and they grabbed him and pulled. And so there were stitches out. It was horrible. And so not only was that, then I had my car problem. And then I had, you name it. No, I'm just not even going there, because it's like negative. But I know it's Mercury in retrograde, and it's going to get better now. So it's going to be done. All right. So, and if you ever notice on Mercury in retrograde, you have a tendency to think about things like you're processing things from like you were 5, 7. You're like, they took my pencil from me when no, really you do. Yeah. You process stuff like that. So anyway, we're taught to fear our gifts. If you can see spirits, you're taught to fear it. And you need to get over that. We're all giving you permission now with the age of Aquarius to accept them and go with it. Because when you go with it, that creates positive energy, and things snowball and positively for you. Okay. Like I said, Iris had told me I had done a reading for her. She's done a reading for me. I'm good friends with her. I've known her for years. And she had told me, she goes, once I accepted who I am, truly who I am. And this goes for like people, maybe they're coming out of the closet and they're gay. When you're accepting who you are, there's a peace that settles down in your soul. And that's kind of what I'm trying to guide you through. There's an acceptance. It's just let things flow in a positive direction.
Sure.
Okay. So pay attention to what you can do, internal struggle. Here's your internal struggle. So here's your internal struggle. Yeah, you have to use those to help others. If you're not going to help others with it, and you're using it for selfish reasons, and there are people that do that. We were just talking about that. They're going to get their karma. I've spent my whole lifetime, trying to keep my karma clear. I've created some karma, trust me. But I have tried really hard to keep it as clear as I can, because I'm aware of it. And that is how you do the spiritual growth, is because, I'm helping others, and I try to keep as moralistic as I can. Okay. I take what I do as a very, very seriously. I do not tell you ever, don't affect your chart. I won't say, oh my God, you need to get rid of this loser. You're dating this guy. I won't do that. Because I take it so seriously. I will say, well, this is what he's doing. He's messing around on you. And are you sure? Yes, I'm absolutely sure. I won't tell you what to do. You see what I'm saying? Because it's a free will, and I refuse to be part of the chart. And you know what I'm saying? It's morals. It's a moral thing. If you ever get somebody that is a psychic that is trying to control you in some way, run. Okay? I'm going to tell you, because a good psychic will say, well, this is what's going on. What are you going to do about it? Okay? Because it's ultimately your life, your chart. So, okay. So you have to get to a place too that you don't care what people think. And then there we go on the hierarchy of needs, where it's self-actualization. Self-actualizations, you don't really care what others think.
Well, and I think when you're dealing with a good psychic medium, they're not telling you things you don't know.
Exactly.
You kind of already know it, right?
Yes.
And so if it doesn't feel right to you, there's probably a reason for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're right. And always use that pit of your stomach, you guys. Okay. I use that. Remember, right above your belly navel, that's where your soul sits. And your soul sits there telling you right and wrong. When something doesn't feel right, it's not. Because your soul knows what you planned before you came. They know ultimately your chart. You can't always remember it like consciously, but subconsciously you know it all. Okay.
Mine has my soul must be pretty large.
Okay.
Hashtag dad bod.
Hashtag
right?
that. Yeah. Hashtag that. Yeah. See, somebody just responded. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what happens when you realize your gift. Now, I'm going to get more in next week about gifts.
Yeah.
So now I think I'm camping next week up north. So that's why I hope I can get
a little Wi-Fi.
I think that they'll have Wi-Fi if I go into the Clubhouse because I'm going to be like on premises or something. I have some downtime, you guys. I have been overworking myself. And if you've seen a little bit of me backing off of my life, I quit doing a couple of things because I'm doing too much and it's starting to affect me. So like physically, I'm starting to like anxiety.
A lot of energy, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm putting a lot of energy out, putting a lot of energy back into right now and some into my TikTok, but a lot into my YouTube. So Lana's Enchanted Sky, you can put that in there as a reminder. Lana's Enchanted Sky. That's my YouTube. And I've got a couple of things in there. I'm also very active in politics because I believe that for the last 30 to 40 years, and I'm going to blame it. And I'm going to call you out, you baby boomers. You let our United States fall apart because you weren't active. Oh, I don't care about politics. Well, you better, because look what kind of mess you got. We are all kind of trying to correct it now. So I've got a video on my YouTube that has to do with predictions, but I believe I'm right because I do follow politics pretty closely. So anyway, back to this. So okay, so these are the good things that happen. And next week, I'm going to start going into different types of gifts. So maybe you've got this one. So that's kind of what I'm going. So that's where I'm going with the most of the summer to help you out. Maybe you have this gift. Now, remember, you have probably more than one. You probably have 4. I have maybe 4 or 5. I don't have them all. Like there's a couple that I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. I don't do that. One of them I find just absolutely fascinating is palmistry. I've always wanted to learn. So I'm kind of like, I listen and I watch, but some people just they can look at a hand and intuitively read. So I don't have that ability, and that's okay. Cause then I think that's just the coolest thing ever. So then I also am getting more into astrology. Every week I matched. Okay. I manifested somebody. Now I have been, because I'm in my alignment, because this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Yesterday, somebody came to me and we're talking, and she, for some reason, she said, I really needed to read from you. Well, it's somebody I've known forever. And she goes, I didn't know you knew astrology. And she's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, well, I need somebody to teach me more. I want to know more. I want to know the trines and the transits and all that, because I know quite a bit, but I have so much more to learn. And she agreed to it. And I'm like, oh, good. Then I can do readings for you and we can exchange energy. Here we go again. So needless to say, I'm learning astrology. So that's so cool. But some people use the astrology psychically and they combine it. So, there you go. Anyway, everybody's got gifts. Everybody's got it.
And of course, I want to apologize. Mercury in retrograde. SKYE.
Oh, okay.
SKYE.
Oh, what did you do? Oh, okay.
It corrected it to SKY.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And Lana's Enchanted Sky. Yes, my horse's name is Sky.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I had a reading done with somebody the other day. Their name was Sky. And I go, oh, like my horse. And she goes, yeah, that's why I joined your YouTube, because it was so cool because it's spelled the same way. And I'm like, oh, that was cool. So anyway, when you start to accept these gifts, okay, good things start to happen. I am telling you, it's right. Ask anybody who has just come to terms with themselves. Okay, it's acceptance thing, and you're unblocking all the negative energy. You're starting to have abundance, and all kinds of abundances, not just in money. We're talking love, relationships, everything. Abundance starts to flow. Okay, so you just have to get to a point where you're accepting it. It's just you have that stuckness that I talk about. Like people feel stuck. It's gone. It's just gone. When you have accepted that, what? I think I'm psychic. I think that I've been denying this whole time. And I'm not crazy. People have been telling me I'm crazy, but you know what? I'm okay. I'm good. I just have a little bit different talents than some other people. Okay. Another thing is your clarity of purpose. So I have so many people like, what's my purpose? Why am I here? You have to know how many people ask me that. And when I'm doing a reading for them, and they know at a deep level, sometimes I just had to point it out, but it's always somehow helping others. And because that's love. Okay. I had an attachment. I had gotten rid of for somebody. They had an attachment. Somebody follows around. Now I'm going to tell you something. They were using a Ouija board. Don't ever use a Ouija board. I don't care what anybody says. Don't use those. It allows stuff to attach to you and follow you around and bug you. Now I'm aware when something tries to attach to me. When I was down in New Orleans, I had something trying to attach to me. I was laughing at them. I'm like, you really think I'm going to let you attach to me? It was like I don't know. He wasn't a vampire, but he like dressed like one. And he was like real dark and he wore like a trench coat and he was following me around and I could see this guy. And I looked at him. I said, you really think I'm going to let you attach to me? You've got to be kidding. And I laughed and it made him mad. And I'm like, Michael, come get him. Not a problem. You know what I'm saying? So don't worry about attachments, but I'm telling you, they're real. They are real. Okay. And you don't want that. And when you that are stuck, sometimes you get all of that stuff, but because you don't have your clarity of purpose. When you know what you're here to do, there's a flow, an ebb and a flow. And by the way, another way to get rid of any of those attachments is send them love. They hate it because love is a positive emotion and it gets rid of something really fast, bringing love into a situation in any way. Okay. So so you also have a thing where you notice that new people come into your life. All of a sudden, you're like all these new people with like similar ideas, similar vibrations. They start to flow into your life. And then that's leading to more positivity. So, all right. Also, manifestation gets easier. Okay. Do I recharge? Yes, I do recharge. That's why I'm going out into the woods for a week. And I'm just, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to meditate. I'm going to walk. I'm going to take my dogs. I got a golden retriever and a collie. Taking them with me. No offense, I want everybody to leave me alone for a week.
That's it.
So this week I'm doing my hosta sale. By the way, if you guys like all kinds of bizarre types of hostas, I have 1,400 types of hosta. Having my big sale. So I'm outside of Chicago, and I would say about half of my listeners they're probably around this area, right?
Yeah.
How many are about half?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so and it's like I'm in Beloit, Wisconsin, so it's about an hour. So
that's right.
Okay. So anyway, there's a calmness and a contentment, and I don't know what else to say, but like I'm coming into this. This is what I'm supposed to be doing, and there's a calmness. I am slowly getting rid of my other career, and I'm not going to say miserable, but I need to let it go, and it's been very hard because I've been doing it for 30 years.
Time to cut
and it's not that I don't dislike it. It's just I know I need to be doing something different. There's a stuckness that I've gotten rid of. Okay.
Of course, it's that time of the show. Ask Lana anything. Be very specific, though. Don't say, hey, what's my week going to look like? Give her something that she can read for you.
Okay. Also, give me some questions. I've got 3 different places that I'm watching. You can start asking me questions. Ask me like one question. Also, I've changed my hours because I have more time now. So if you see that most part of Sunday's open, all of Monday and all of Tuesday, and you can schedule a reading with me at any point, that's kind of different because I used to have it like backed off more. So I'm still on sale. So I'm 25% off, I think. So book a reading with me. It's a half an hour. I've been looking at other people's websites because I don't pay attention to other psychics because I don't want to compare myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that they don't have talent, but I did look at a couple and I'm a lot less expensive than a lot of people. They were double my price and I was surprised. So just the thought. So, and I am a medium. And when you call me, I talk to your relatives.
There you go.
So that's how I do it. And then we go into a reading and I normally am doing it cold and I'm saying, okay, so you're calling about your job, huh? And they'll be like, yeah. And I'm like, because they're telling me. So, okay, so let's go with the questions.
Yep.
You got any questions?
So Twaina says, my body reacts like a pendulum, moving the same as my pendulum. Just started 4 days ago. Shocked me at first, but it feels natural now. I've been seeing 1111 everywhere.
Okay, you're in the middle you're in the start of a transformation. I do feel like it's Twaina?
Twaina, maybe? Twayna.
Twaina.
Yeah, Twaina Bernard.
Okay. I'm feeling like also you're going to be, in 6 months from now, you're going to be like a completely different person. You're in your transformation, you're in your awakening, and there's something to do with your job too. Like I want to say you can't do it anymore. And that's what they make me feel. Okay. Now I've got some people on here. Will I be able to conceive soon? I want to say keep trying. I want to say more like September or October, but yes, you will. I think you're supposed to have 1 or 2 children. It seems like that's for me. What time frame will I build the house? It's going to take longer than you think. You're going to have it done sooner than some people. It's more like there's something significant 3 or 4 months. I don't understand that completely, but it's something significant in 3 to 4 months. I want to say maybe you've got most of it done, and like maybe you can go work on the inside because it's going to get cold. And I see you finishing the last little bit when it starts to get cold. Okay.
Brenda says, good morning. Wanted to know when I will meet my next significant other. Where and name, please.
I can't give names because you know why? You know why we can't give names, right? Because that person in this lifetime's called this. Well, last time they were called this. So the name isn't significant. Brenda, you're going to meet somebody, brown hair, about 6 foot, works with his hands. Like, I don't know if it's construction or a handyman. It's something of that order in about 6 months. So you're looking at around the end, towards the end of the year.
Towards the end of the year.
Oh. All right.
Miss Leonard, good morning. Says my cat Ginger is elderly and not doing well. Do you see anything I can do for her to help her feel better?
Did they Miss Leonard? I don't know how, because she's a follower. Yes. Hi. I'm not sure of if you're giving the cat meds, but I want to say that there's something you can give to keep her calm and content. So if you are not giving that to her, call the vet and ask. There's like I want to even say it might even be like an herb that you can give cats. That keeps them just, because remember my cat just was, he's such a pain in the butt. My cat, like, is an indoor outdoor cat, and he got out the other day. I was hysterical because he's still limping a little. Had to go outside because he goes out sometimes. And so I was hysterical, and here he comes limping back. And I did have him on a small amount of painkiller. Well, I took him off it because then he was running all over the place because he didn't have any pain. And I'm like, that's not healed yet. So I kind of took him off it. So there is something out there, and it wasn't like a really bad thing. It was just a really small amount of something. So check into that. Okay.
There you go. Yoli's daughter asks, why was Alpha put into my life?
Alpha. Okay. I want to say it's self-esteem. Okay. That's what they're telling me to tell you, that it was healing for you, but you have to learn to love yourself. So I'm assuming Alpha must be a pet. But anyway, they're there to teach you about yourself, on how to love deeply and to love yourself better. Okay.
Beautiful.
Here we've got some more people on here. Hi guys. I got questions on here. Good morning. Will I ever have kids, and will I continue to live in the town I'm at? No. You're gonna have kids, but you're not living where you're living. You're gonna be moving. You have 2 different moves. You have one move where you're gonna be fairly close, but within a town or 2. And when you get older, you're gonna completely move. So I don't know if you're gonna plan to go to Florida, but there's a huge move as you get older. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Anna Vaughn says, I've been with my boyfriend for 6 years and it's going nowhere. I can't decide what's the best way to tell him, on the phone or in person. We hardly see each other. How do you see me doing this?
I know this is bad. I feel text.
Yeah.
Well, try phone. Well, texting and phone to me when I'm reading is the same thing, because texting is done by phone. So when people say, well, did you and I say, well, no, it felt like phone. And it's like, well, it is your phone. So try the phone. Okay, Anna. All right. Let's see who we got.
Yoli's daughter said, no, Alpha is a man, my ex-boyfriend.
Oh, well, he's here to teach you how to love yourself. Did you put your foot down with him? Because I felt like, I didn't feel like a boyfriend. It felt different. It felt like it was one-sided. So that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I don't see, but that's what they told me. Okay. So, all right, I'm going to go here back to TikTok. Okay. Can you see what will happen if you leave your relationship? You're going to be in another relationship within 4 months, and it's the right one. Get rid of this one. That's all I have to say. You already know that. See, I won't affect your chart, but I know you're going to. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Liz says, good morning. Just interviewed for a new job. Just wondering if I will get an offer. Any input?
Yeah. I don't know if you want that one. There might be something better. I don't want to say, I want to say, Liz, that the money isn't, it could be better and better benefits. Hold out a little bit, but yeah, I think they're going to offer. I think You haven't gotten a phone call yet? I think you're going to, if you haven't gotten a phone call yet, you'll get it probably Monday. But they're with an offer. If you can negotiate, you can take it. Don't take the first offer they give you. Okay? Because there would be something better coming. If they can give you a better benefits, then take it. Because it's coming. Okay.
There you go.
All right. Let's go back to TikTok. All right, I have to go back, you guys. There's so many on TikTok because I got like as many followers on here as I do on YouTube. Yeah. Okay, so can you see? Okay, my mom has been gone for 20 years. I never feel her. I'm going to tell you a secret about all that. I don't feel my mother. I know she's there. Okay, what happens is because when they first die, you're like, oh my God, she visited me. You can feel it. Mm-hmm. Well, what happens is you become so used to the energy around you that you become adjusted and you can't feel it anymore. So I'm sure she's there. Matter of fact, you got somebody there has kind of a brown hair. She's cute, but I want to say her hair is brown, like a medium brown. And there's it's like her hair is like this. And it's about this long and it's feathered like or something. It's like an more old fashioned haircut. And I think that her hair was gray when you might've known her, but it's brown now and it's curly. It's almost like I don't know if she would use to take a curling iron or something, but anyway, but she's around you. So, okay. So don't worry. All right?
Mel B, good morning, says, when am I going to start making some money?
August. Mel, August. Okay.
That's it.
All right. Let's go back to TikTok again. Can you see what will happen in my future when I leave my relationship? Oh, I got that already. Okay, she shows that's so true. Thank you. Okay. My dad passed in October. Is he okay? He is fine. Did he have dark hair? Was it kind of parted slightly aside but balding? Kind of had a tendency to wear maybe a checkered type shirt that you would button up. Not necessarily flannel. I don't know, but it might have been. He's doing really well. Sends you love, and I think he might be drinking something. I don't know if it's beer or it's root beer. He's got like a mug. So I don't know. He's holding something and he's toasting. So you also might have a birthday or a relationship, some type of get together coming up. And he's wishing you well. Okay. Nice. So go ahead.
Kidda says, how does Sam feel about me?
He likes you a lot and would like to explore this. He doesn't know you well enough yet. I feel like he's not too bad of a guy, but I mean, he hasn't made you exclusive. So he is there is somebody that's coming in and out of his life a little bit. He hasn't committed any kind of commitment to you, obviously, because there's somebody else also. So just saying, not passing judgment, just letting you know. Okay.
There you go.
All right. So, thank you. She used to curl her hair. Thank you. Thank you for the confirmations, you guys.
Yeah,
so that way, yep. Okay. Do you see love in my future, Barbara? Yeah, but you have to work on yourself. There is a major, major relationship coming, but it's quite a ways away. It'll be into next year. And I want to say it may be the person. Okay. Be patient. Work on yourself. You have some things to clear up, some like trauma or something that you need to clear up for yourself. And once you get to the right place, because you're in an awakening or something yourself, it'll fall right into place for you. Okay.
Awesome. Sarah says, will a move to Texas be the right move for me?
Yeah, but I don't know why I want to say, Sarah, that you're not going to like where you initially move. You might move again. It might still be to Texas. I feel like it's down south. I don't know if that's going to work. Try it out. I just feel like there's another reason. It might even be for a job. There's another move within a year or two after you move. Okay. All right. Thank you. You just described him perfectly, Mama says. Wow. Thank you. All right. So thank you. Everybody's putting thank you. Will my daughter buy the business? Yes. She's got a little snafu, something with paperwork, but it'll go through. It'll take a little longer than they thought. Few more weeks longer, maybe 6 more weeks longer. Okay.
There you go. All right. Christian, will we be moving or just buying property?
You're buying property. You found something you actually keep looking. If you haven't found it, something you absolutely love, like it's in a perfect location. You might sit on it and decide to wait until the prices of lumber come down, because they've come down 40% so far. Remember, I'm keeping up with politics. They're predicting it to come down another 40%, because you do know why it was like that, right?
Everybody.
The billionaires. Yeah.
Peter Galt asked, targeting a home purchase in the next 3 to 5 years, is there a particular state that makes an impression on you with a move in mind?
I said Wisconsin. I would say I you know what? You're looking at two things. Are you looking at a lake around here, like by us here over in McHenry or something? But I also say you have possibility of property up north a little bit, more into Wisconsin. Are you looking at Arkansas too? There's like someplace like it's kind of like hilly. So that's why I'm okay. So there's a possibility of all that, Peter. Peter owns the station. Yeah. So okay. So Patriot Country Girl says, what is making you so tired and drained? You're not accepting your gifts. You're denying something about you. It's coming back to haunt you. You need to get rid of some trauma and release it. I'm figuring, I think it's an awakening is what you're going through. You're stuck. That's that stuck I talk about. So go with it. Find out what it is. They're telling me you already know.
There we go.
Okay.
We're just a little bit over.
Yep, sorry.
So we're just going to get two last ones. Leah asks, Lana, what do you see about my current relationship? Thumbs up or thumbs down? I truly believe it's heaven sent, but there are many huge blocks in the road.
I want to say, I won't. Here we go, affecting charts. I remember I'm responsible. I want to say in the long run, there might be a block that you might have to part ways, but yet the relationship is important. This is a major relationship for you. Mm-hmm. So do you see how I said that? I'm trying hard not to form. Right. I don't want you to get you to feel bad if it breaks up, because it will break up on extremely good terms. Does that help? Okay.
And lastly, Emily says, is there a promotion opportunity for me within my company?
Yeah. In about 2 months, Emily. Okay. And do you ever find your gift scary? You betcha. Because always. When I'm accurate, all these predictions I'm making scares the crap out of me because I don't realize I'm doing them. And then my followers or Kent, who's keeping a running track, my producer, says, oh my God, this was right. And he'll mark them off. So.
Or I hold her accountable.
Sometimes. But I'm okay with it. Blessings to all you guys. I am done. Come back to me next week. All right.
That's it. Thank you so much. We are humbled and blessed that you got caught in the net with us this morning here, 216 The Net. Tune in tomorrow at 9 a.m. sharp for Lisa's Changing Perceptions, followed by Fellowship of Faith's Hour of Worship. So we will be back tomorrow morning. Until then, hey, don't be afraid to live into those gifts that you've been given. For all of us here at 216 The Net, to all the dads out there, happy Father's Day. Enjoy the weekend.
Bye, guys.